Fans were waiting for you over the last 9 months as you took a hiatus, but it's so exciting that the new era of Why Don't We is here. So I want to know what happened during the last 9 months.
A lot.
Man, we took our first break ever as a band. We had been touring for about 3 years, and we've only been a band for 4 years, so there wasn't much time in between to even really grow as a band.
Yeah.
So in this time, we obviously wrote an album. We wrote Fallin, which is out now, and you can go check it out.
Let's just fall in love for the hell of it. Maybe just keep falling.
We finally got to sit down and talk together and ask those bigger questions like, who do we want to really be? What do we want to sound like? What do we want to say? What's our message to the world? And I'm really happy with where we're at together now.
With this hiatus that you took, you also took a break from social media and being such a band that has such a special connection with your fans where you're constantly communicating with them through social media. Did you guys really miss that connection with them?
I mean, yeah, we missed it. But it's funny that you mention it because by the end of last year, we toured from beginning of March all the way up until the 23rd of December was our last show of the year. And by the end of that, we actually saw a lot of our fans, tweeting and commenting and saying like, you guys might not know it, but we think y'all need a break. Y'all have really been going hard for the past 3 years. And so we kind of took a step and we're like, okay, do we? And then we were kind of like, yeah, maybe we do. Our fans, we saw a lot of messages and tweets like, where are you guys? We miss you so much. And we were like, we're coming, don't you worry. And
I think that 9-month break for fans like me, it was challenging, but at the end of the road, it's been such a success. We got Fallin, which is a song that you wrote, you produced, you sing, we've got instruments. How important was it to you guys that in this new era of Why Don't We, it is you through and through, everything is done by you?
So we all always played instruments and we always wrote our own music. But there's a sort of pressure I feel like in pop music and in this industry where there's really a high bar set for music. For a long time we just overthought the idea of coming out with our own music because honestly that's rare today, that the artist would go in and write an album and produce it on their own. And we finally had the time and we're more than happy with what came out.
What inspired you guys during the writing process? What life experiences did you go through that made you feel compelled to grab a pen and paper and be like, I gotta get this out through my music?
We just wrote from our stories and our life going on. Fans want to know about sort of our relationships and things going on in our personal life. And if you want to know about that, you should just listen to this album because everything's in there. And we're super honest and it comes directly from our hearts and what's going on in our lives.
And I think being in quarantine actually made this album more special because when you're kind of stuck in your house all day, bored out of your mind, you have a lot to think about. And I think that inspired more thoughts than we thought it would, honestly. And so, in a weird way, the album was kind of therapeutic where, you could just write down just about any thought you had throughout the day. And so a lot of different thoughts and emotions.
So Jonah, you obviously just teased that love will be a theme on the album. What are some other themes or words that you could use to describe what we're going to be listening to?
We have a song about anxiety on the album. Getting kind of just honest about stuff that we deal with.
We have a song about, I guess, just like having fun, good times.
There's one that we wrote specifically to be like the last song that we perform in the show on tour as well.
Dang.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Okay, wait. Does that mean it's like an emotional moment we'll all be holding each other, or is it like big energy we'll all be holding hands and dancing?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
It's an all-encompassing song of just, wishing a night would never end.
Yeah.
And that's how we feel when we go to your shows, truly.
Aww.
Whenever you post a photo of little Lavender, our heart kind of just like melts into a million pieces. How does she inspire your writing, your musical process, all of that?
I mean, so much. You know, every time I go and see her, I always have more ideas to write. Like, literally the other day I went to Hawaii and I instantly, like, you know, just feeling emotions from Lav, you know, you fall more in love with her every day. So I started writing a song just right when I was there, just right from the heart. He came back and sang it for us actually, and it was really beautiful.
I know she's very young, but do you ever play her your music, and what is it like to see her reaction?
Oh, totally. It was funny. I showed her the music video before it came out actually. And each time I would pop on the screen, she'd point and be like, "Yeah."
Oh, that's so cute. I didn't even know that.
Wow. So
Do you know like what her favorite songs are? Like you see it in her face.
That's a good question.
I can't say.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you guys all just kind of lit up when I mentioned Lavender. Does anyone else have baby fever as a result of spending time with her?
Oh, Lavender's the best.
I mean, I got a cat, so that's sufficing for now.
Jack's always sending videos of Lav in the chat, and every time he does,
We're like, oh my
oh,
god.
the face. It's so
She's
cute.
so cute.
Wow.
Like we're all her uncles. Like we're like extended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all know I'm the best uncle.
I want to talk about Fallin. I heard a little White Claw was involved in the making of this song. Tell me what happened there.
Yeah. So the day that we wrote it, we were actually gonna work on another song on the album that day, and Daniel pulled up and had this melody that had popped into his head on the way to the studio, and was like, "Yo, guys, what do you think of this? Like, I think we should write it right now." And Jack happened to walk in with a huge thing of White Claws, mango White Claws.
Mango, baby.
And so when Daniel was first making the beat, he titled it the Mango White Claw beat. Well, like to this day, if you go on his laptop, it's still called the Mango White Claw.
Yeah.
How many White Claw does it take to get to the level of creating Fallin?
Oh man. Well,
we had a couple.
Yeah, it's
honestly,
couple.
I feel like more than 3, and you're not gonna have a song like Fallin. You're gonna have a terrible.
Yeah.
Another thing I really love about the group is that you guys all let each other shine as individuals. And, you know, my era growing up, a lot of the bands, it was like there's one lead singer, there's 2 lead singers. I feel like whenever you watch a Why Don't Me project, especially Fallin, you all have your moment. So I'm curious, was this a conversation that you guys had early on? And how do you decide who's going to sing which parts?
You know, I think that stemmed from us being solo artists beforehand, and we came into it with a lot of respect for each other right away. And when we're writing a song, even like I'll hear a part and be like, "Oh my God, Zach is gonna just murder that."
Yeah.
with his
Like
butter
even the
voice.
hook for Fallin right away, we knew was Zach's part. And
Yeah.
when Zach heard it, he's like, "That sounds like my part." And
Yeah.
and it wasn't even some weird like, "You get the hook, bro. Come on." It was more like, "Bro, you better take that hook." Like,
Right,
you gotta
yeah.
get
Wow.
I like that. After 4 years of recording music, it's become pretty easy to kind of tell like whose vibe is what and where they should go. I mean, sometimes we run into little bits where we're like, you know, maybe 2 of us should try this one part and let's see, you know, how
Yeah, that
how it
happened
sounds.
Fallin.
And
actually.
yeah, it happened on Fallin. I started with cutting the ooh, you, and it just didn't work out for me. I was like, I don't love it here. I don't love this spot. Daniel on the demo killed it. So we were like, yeah, just take that. And then I tried verse 2 and it worked out. And then, so it's all very
It's a
fluid.
really cool process.
I think there's definitely something to be said for like when you build other people up, you never fail to also be successful. I think there's different ways to look at life, and like some people might go about it in like selfish ways, and I think we've never really done that. We always just want to see each other succeed and be there because we're good friends.
The other thing that fans are kind of going wild over is this reinvention of some of your looks. Everybody has kind of rocked some new hair or something different, but the fans want to know, Zach, why did you abstain from making a big look reinvention?
I don't know. I'm not trying to change my hair right now. I think if you look at my hair from the start of the band to now, it's
Yes.
made a big difference slowly. I think I'm not the type of person to drastically just change my hair. I was thinking about maybe highlighting it, and then I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm sticking with my hair, but I don't know.
When you got hair
maybe
that
one
good,
day.
you don't got it.
Honestly, for me, it was just quarantine. I was growing my hair. I didn't have a way to cut my hair, and then it got to be when we're coming back, and I'm like, well, my hair's long. I guess I was like, rock it.
For me, it was just like I was blonde for 4 years. I just felt like the right move would be to go and try dark hair and see how it worked out. And it's worked out so far.
Yeah, I love having blonde hair. I just got bored, I guess. And I actually had pink hair at one point. In one of them quarantines, I just was like, screw it, I'm going to go blonde. And now I'm still blonde, so.
Have you adjusted at this point to being so loved? What is it like being a heartthrob?
It's definitely a one-of-a-kind thing, I would say. It's, I really can't complain. I mean,
it doesn't suck.
As a guy, being, a teenager and then now into our early 20s, it's definitely not a bad thing to have, girls screaming for you and chasing you down the street. We miss the screams though. We haven't heard them in a minute, so we're itching to get back out on the road as soon as we can.
Corbyn, you just said, you guys have been doing this for, a few years at this point. Who is the best with fame and who kind of dislikes fame the most?
There's different aspects of it that I like and that I don't like.
Like what?
I mean, there's ups and downs with everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like lately more than ever, I think quarantine made it worse for me, but I was struggling a lot with coming home after being on tour and seeing friends I'd have my whole life look at me different. And it was a weird thing where I feel like fame heightens another person's insecurity and kind of they reflect their insecurity right back to you, which is just weird, and they can't really help it. But having to deal with that, and for a while it felt like maybe I just shouldn't start a conversation because I don't want to make them feel nervous to talk to me. That was weird. But I think we've all been really good at handling it together too. Like I'll just be real with the guys before I'm real with anyone else and tell them how I'm feeling, and we're usually in the same boat.
One of the biggest things for me is kind of just questioning people's intentions when you first meet them. It's like, especially in Los Angeles, there's a lot of awesome people out here. There's also some people who are sort of social climbers and might just use you for what they can gain and then not talk to you anymore and that kind of a thing. So I don't know. I think that sometimes I overthink things and I'll come into a conversation and they obviously have a preconceived idea of who I might be, and I want to come off like that person, and then I'm like, wait, no, I'm just me.
Too much.
I don't know. It's a definite psychological trip for sure. It's weird.
Definitely more ups and downs though.
Yeah, we get to travel, we get to do music
awesome.
for a living, we get to hang out all the time. It's really, really.
At the end of the day, too, we're doing what we love,
Jonah, you just kind of mentioned it's challenging at times. You don't ever really know what people's intentions are, and everybody is always curious, are they dating anybody? Who are they dating? Can we do a quick little relationship roundup? And I'm curious how it's been dating when you guys have such a high public profile.
That is one of those things that we just love to keep personal, because
there's only a select few things.
There's not many things at this point in our lives that we can keep personal, and so even for the sake of the relationship, it makes it so much easier when we can just be normal together.
But I am single,
Okay. Can everyone else confirm?
You have to listen to the album.
With this new era of Why Don't We, I truly feel like the best is yet to come. Do you guys have an idea of where you want to be in 5 or 10 years? I mean, are these conversations that you have together as a group, whether it's I want, XYZ album sold, I want 5 Grammys?
The main goal for us is just to impact as many people in the world as we possibly can in a positive way, whatever that looks like. But obviously we have specific goals and stuff as well. I can't wait for the day that we go on an arena tour.
Top 5 Billboard, win 5 Grammys, like you said.
There's old voice memos of us talking to our future self.
Yeah, we literally made a voice memo. We're like, dear future self, I hope that you've done this stuff.
We might release those.
Kind of crazy.
That would be crazy to
in a
actually
documentary
put those
release.
out.
Yeah.